Surface Warriors, half a day, or should I say hello. This is Rear Admiral Pete Gumataotao, Commander, Naval Surface Forces Atlantic. So I'm here to kick off this training, Navy training, on zone inspections. And you're probably sitting there in the mess decks in the wardroom or the chief's mess or wherever saying, why is the Admiral kicking this off? Well, I'm kicking it off, shipmates, because it's very important. And I will go back to what I would do if I was a commanding officer or a strike group commander or a sea combat commander, and I'm looking at my COs and saying, hey, what are my expectations of you? Well, let me lay it out here before you start getting into the nuts and bolts of the zone inspection training. My expectations of you is very simple, and I'll break it down to three things. Understand the basics and what you're supposed to do. What I mean by that is understand your role. Role on the ship, because every one of you is important to that commanding officer in meeting that mission. And how do you do that? How do you go back to understanding the basics? Well, I will offer you, go to procedural compliance. Go to the formality of watchstanding. Go to level of knowledge. Go to supervisory oversight. Go to all those things that are there as part of ship operating principles. That's how you get good at the basics. The other expectation I would have of you is know your ship. Know your ship. How do I do that, Admiral? Well, I'll tell you what. If you do these two things religiously and you do it right, if you do 3M, maintenance of your ship and your equipment, and if you go out and do zone inspections routinely every day, and I'm not just talking a zone inspection because it's in the POD. I'm saying every time you walk in your space, you need to have a weathered eye to see safety violations, to see the material condition of your equipment, and to be able to see, hey, does this look right? That's a weathered eye. And the way you do that, knowing your ship, going out and about with 3M, doing your maintenance right and doing your inspections, zone inspections, you'll get it right. And then the last of my expectations is build a team. How do you build a team? You gotta practice, shipmate. Practice, practice, practice. Or in other words, train, train, train. So this video is going to focus on one fundamental tenet of my expectations of you, or the tools to get to those expectations of knowing your ship, and that's zone inspections. Many of you may not know, but the commanding officer is required by Navy regs to inspect his or her ship. The periodicity of that depends on how well you set up zone inspections. But the fact of the matter is, it is that important to the Navy. It's that important to how we've learned through the years that the CO is responsible ultimately for the warfighting condition of his ship, and the only way you can do it is go out and about. And I will also tell you, behind a great CO is an awesome crew. And it starts with the wardroom and the chief's mess. And that khaki support in going out there and using the same standards and level of expectations and zone inspections that the CO has set, hey, the Navy has set across, it's a win-win for everybody. And then it goes down from there. And I'll tell you when this zone inspection video will really take root. If young fireman Gumataotao or young BM3 Gumataotao out there comes away from this video, walks into that locker room or walks into that repair locker room and says, I just learned something there. Hey, that's not right. Touchdown. So, this video is going to tell you how to do it and how to consistently do it. I'm here to tell you why you should pay attention and why you should take this to the next level, which is make this a habit. Because if you don't do it right, people might die. Now, how is that, Admiral? Well, I'll tell you what. If you don't check your spaces, and let's say, for example, you got firefighting gear in that spaces, and you don't inspect it to make sure that that equipment is up to par, and if there's a fire in that space, and you reach for that gear and it is not working, or it is not there, what might happen? People might die. Or if you have a space that is not monitored by a sensor for flooding, and you have flooding in that space, what would happen? Something catastrophic might happen to you and the ship. Why? It's because we live in this environment where we got to take ownership of our spaces. Okay? So, I want to end it from here by saying to all of you, I know what you do day in and day out is very hard. I know that we ask a lot of you. which is why I felt it very important that I have my folks come up with this video. Use this video as a tool to help you consistently train to the standards that we all live and sometimes die by. Hold the standards, and at the end of the day, you'll be a great shipmate. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for serving our country, and continue to do us proud. Have a great Navy Day.